Hi and welcome back to Sleep Nurse UK. My name's Laura. I am a qualified paediatric nurse and also a certified sleep consultant. And today I wanted to talk about a bed or a cot. When is the right time to get your little one from the cot into the bed? Let's dive straight into it. So, first of all, I would like to say always do what you think is right for you and your family. As parents, so often we feel like one person's telling us to do one thing, another person's telling us to do another. Google says another thing, and then the person next door did something else. Always do what is right for you and what feels a good option for your child. However, if you are really unsure or not sure if it's the right choice for you, I have got some top tips for when it might be a good idea to move your little one into their own bed, or when actually it might not be. So first of all, let's look at the safety aspect. So there is no reason why your little one can't stay into a cot until they outgrow it. Now, if they are too big for the cot, so physically they can't lie down in it, or if they are starting to climb out and there is a risk that they could fall out, those are two reasons really where you might consider putting them into a bed. Now, my top tip for if they are climbing out would be to consider getting a sleeping bag for them. So the little child sleeping bags, the brand name is Grow Bags as well. Putting them in one of those will actually stop them from being able to lift the leg high enough to flip themselves out. So it might be worth investing in one of the sleeping bags. Also, you can buy quite low crotched pajamas. And again, that is stopping them from getting that leg and getting that momentum up and over the cot. Now, I really love child sleeping bags because children can wake in the night due to the change in temperature. We know children around the age of 2, 3, they're moving so much around the cot. So whilst you might have got them all nicely tucked in and at the right temperature, at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, sheets are everywhere and they're just there in maybe thin pajamas. And that change in temperature can be a cause of them waking. So when we know that they're in a bag, that temperature is constant. So I'm a really big fan of the sleeping bags. So those are two reasons why you might actually need to put your child into a bed. Or maybe you need it for a new sibling. Maybe they need to take the cot. Now, if you need it for a new baby that is coming along, my advice would be to make the change well in advance of baby coming. And the reason for that is because you don't want your child to think that their nice, safe space cot is just being taken away to be given to their new sibling. It can evoke feelings of jealousy towards their new sibling. So really doing it a good while in advance sort of stops that feeling from developing in regards to them having their cot. If you need it for another sibling, my tips would be just to make it really appealing for the child that is moving into the bed. So really getting involved, if you can, in maybe picking bed covers, how they like their bed, their pillow maybe. Just really try and make it a special time for them. Now, if you are considering moving your child into a bed because they're not sleeping well in the cot, I would say, please don't do it. It is very unlikely that your child is waking in the night because of the cot. It's more likely to be through another habit, maybe an imbalance in daytime and nighttime sleeps, maybe something is waking them up, maybe they've created a new sleep habit, or they're needing something to link their sleep cycles. The cause for the sleep problem is not likely to be the cot, and by moving them to a bed, I hate to say it, but you're probably going to make that sleep concern worse, because what is most likely to happen is if your child isn't sleeping well, their sleep will worsen, because now they won't be able to get out of bed. So they will likely come and follow you, come and find wherever you are in the house, because they will have difficulty linking their sleep cycles, or because something is waking them up. Now, if you've already moved them into a bed and this is what's happening, if you can and it's safe to do so, I would take them back into the cot and then really look at what is going on with their sleep. Maybe get support with their sleep from someone like myself, and really work on fixing the sleep concern before you then can move them to a bed at a later stage. Now, if they are unwilling to go back into their cot, or maybe you're unable because you had to make the change because of the reasons I said earlier, another option you could consider is to put a stair gate on their bedroom door, and think about making their room as safe as possible for if they are waking up in the night. Almost like you're turning their bedroom into a giant cot. You'll be able to keep them contained, but take out anything that they might hurt themselves on or climb up on during the night. Doing this can be really helpful if you're doing any sort of sleep program, sleep method, or sometimes sleep consultants might suggest this if your child keeps on coming out of bed. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was impulse control. If you had no reason to move your child from a cot to bed, as I said earlier, it really is your own personal preference. But if you were to ask me, I would say try and push it until they're around 3 years of age. And the reason for that is a skill called impulse control. Now, impulse control is knowing that you want to do something, but you have that control, you have that knowledge that you're not going to do it. Now, for children under 3, it's so difficult for them to have this impulse control. They will wake in the night and they might think, oh, I really want to go and see mummy and daddy. They won't have that ability to control that impulse and stay in bed and go back to sleep. So they will just come out and come and find you. Whereas you find the older the child is, the more likely they are to control that impulse. So if they do wake in the night, they will think, oh, I really want to go and see mummy and daddy, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try and get back to sleep and wait until morning. So really, the later you can leave it till around 3 years of age, the better, because they will have developed that understanding and that impulse control to stay in bed for you. Now, as I said earlier, every child is different, and I really don't believe in a prescriptive time and age to do things unless it is for safety. And to give you an example, my friend has a little 2-year-old, and she has moved him into a bed, and it has been really successful. She's not had any concerns. My 3-year-old is still in a cot because he's quite happy in there. So I think don't ever feel pressured that you have to move them into a bed at a certain given age. Do what feels right. Do what feels right for your little one. But as I said earlier, if you are considering it because you have a child that struggles with their sleep, moving them into a bed is likely to make it worse. It really is. Now, if you are struggling with sleep, you have a concern regarding how your little one is sleeping, whether that be frequent wake ups, early wake-ups, anxiety around bedtime, it is certainly something I would love to help with. You can find my contact details in the box down below. I'm across social media as Sleep Nurse UK. And if you head on over to my website, you will be able to find a way to book a completely free 30-minute call with me to see if I'm a good fit for your family and we can discuss your child's sleep concern. That is it for today. I hope you have an amazing day and I'll see you next week. Bye.